For anyone catching the VOD here, the stream will start, or gameplay will actually start at the 5-minute mark. I'll make sure to put that in the description too, so you can skip ahead. With what, this will be the last one on the Banner Saga. I'm going to try and finish the game, finish Bellower, get to the ending, and then we'll end up taking a week or two off of this game before continuing with the Banner Saga 2 on that front. Something I never did talk about though is the stylizing of the script in the title here. So I'll ramble about that as people come in. Hello viewers! So yeah, you guys are gonna catch just in time. Before we get started, I'm actually gonna ramble a bit about the name or the script used here in the title. Because this is looking to me like an illuminated initial in a particularly Irish style. This script type is a variation of unseal script, which is or insular unseal, I guess would be another way of phrasing that, which develops in the 7th century in Ireland and has its heyday in like the 9th century. And is characterized, well, that A is completely wrong, but these ends, these wide looping ends, are exactly right, as is this E, which looks like it's made out of like 3 or 4 different strokes. The stylization here with the intertwine kind of floral motifs in the B is absolutely right for an unseal script, as is the number of strokes here. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 separate ones here. But that being said, the specific interlace within the lettering looks to me more like the same kind of design as what we saw in Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on the pillars, the columns there. So this is kind of imitating the intertwined style found on runestones and found especially on the Norwegian Stavkirke. Now, Leander, we'll get started in just like a minute or two longer. And I'm hoping, I know that this is a late start time, but I'm hoping to finish the game today. So, if you guys can stick around as late as you can, we're going to try and get just as far as possible towards the end of this. We're pretty close. We've only got to get to Bowersgard, so we don't have that long left. And then, the plan after that for this series is we take a break, and then we get started on the Banner Saga 2 in a couple weeks. Hopefully. I'll require some things to go right outside of my control, but assuming nothing too weird happens, we'll be starting Banner Saga 2 in a couple weeks. But yeah, let's get started. So, we picked up last time in a very bad way. We have multiple people injured because Ael died and Orleif got stabbed and Rook got stabbed. So we've got some people in a bad way, and we have very little food to do that with. So that's fun. I think it's so tempting to promote Ivor so we can give him like the statue of a sightless man here and just turn him into an absolute monster, but that may be overkill. Also, with only 20 renown, it would take 15 to promote. It would take all of it to promote Ivor the rest of the way for something that I really don't do a lot of, though I should. But yeah, that definitely not worth my renown, so we're gonna save that, and we'll spend all the renown in Beauregard. Just all of the stuff we've got we're gonna use once we get there. Hopefully we don't starve to death on the way. Because things went poorly for us last time, and we are now very, very low on food. One day of food left. I'm really hopeful we find some. Harsh words from one mother to another draw the attention of the entire caravan. My daughter marries Ragni or no one. That thin tramp you call a daughter won't provide sons. The insulted mother bares her teeth, ready to attack. We will intervene. This is definitely not... This is a solidly non-historical way. Though, certainly lots of vitriol between families that did not get along, but that vitriol historically was projected more often through provoking the men to violence rather than the women going and getting in a catfight with each other. But, you know, there's nothing we can do about that. We're about to run out of food, so this is going to go poorly after this. Oofed. Yeah, I started having casualties from the people starving to death. The villagers here are completely oblivious to the destruction that is coming. All we've seen is some dark figures far off, they tell you, aside from a few young families that are reluctant to pick up their things and join you. Okay, but we do have a market, and they do pay well. I'm basically going to try and probably... Yeah, I'm going to just see how much we can get. 70 there. And then maybe we can see... none of these are super useful. Plus 2 will, plus 3 will. Those are okay, but those aren't great. So yeah, I think we do this. End up with 9 days worth. And that'll have to last us the rest of the game, probably. But actually, we can actually rest on this. We can buy a little more. We buy a little more there. Everyone's healed. And we can go again. So we are now very low on morale, but our team should be pretty much ready to just go. And we have enough stuff. Sadly, we couldn't persuade any of the rest of them to deal with the coming destruction. So that's on them. There's nothing we can do about that. They are just going to die. The caravan consists of more clansmen than you ever expected. Accusations of stolen chickens, missing heirlooms, and concerns over daughters' virtues are the sort of things you hear relentlessly. Even fighters complain of spreading too thin to protect everyone. So we've got some options here. We could split up our caravan, be more picky about who we take with us. We could put them all to work. Or just try and deal with it and move on. We also could establish basically a court of law. We could establish all the law courts, and they can deal with all these complaints in a way that we don't have to. I think we'll do that. Well, sadly, Sadly, it does not work. 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 Sadly, it does not work all thingy has failed. Everyone is too worn out by it. Which is unlucky. While walking, the words of Mother's song reach you. Its soothing nuances about your current journey. When she finishes, the man begins a tale of his own in verse. The woman quickly responds with another poem, and the entire caravan slows to listen to the entertaining competition. This would be exactly right. This kind of poetic contest often ends up being insulting in the form of flighting, but could also just be poetic compositions by professional skalds in praise of some lord's deeds, trying to compete for favor by being the best at that. So something like this is extremely on brand for throughout the pre-modern Icelandic and medieval Norse and pre-modern Icelandic period. Pre-modern Icelandic means a lot later than the Middle Ages, really up until like the 19th or some places the middle of the 20th century. You'll see something like this in Vildvaka or winter nights when you sit around the fire and are telling stories. You might see pretty much exactly this situation play out. The circumstances here at the end of the world are a little bit different, but, you know, works pretty well. We'll ignore that. But we paid attention and off we go. The male skald lost and off we go. Morale improves, though it still is pretty mediocre. And here we are finally at another godstone. Let's see what we've got here. Well, this area here with these high mountains and then these plains with rocks looks so much like the in-between space and fjords in Iceland. Like, their visual design is on point for trying to make this place look Scandinavian in a very meaningful way. But this dude does not. The imposing godstone of Björulf approaches. His severe visage makes it feel like he's watching you, even now. The caravan spreads out, happy to be free of the confining forest and in open fields. In fact, in honor of Björulf, some of the caravan crack kegs of mead and wine before anyone can stop them. To the only god that matters, they shout. Everyone drinks, and you're glad for the merriment that has swept over the caravan. Let's take a look at the godstone here. You look up at the godstone. Björulf's head surrounded by images of casks and drinking horns. Though he was always depicted as being stern, Björulf was one of the most popular gods of men and Varl, the one who taught them how to brew. Seems like more than coincidence that the long fields around Björulf's stone have always been excellent for growing anything you could need for a good drink. So, in the Norse tradition, there is no god who taught people to brew. If anyone did, it was Odin, but that knowledge seems to be very widespread. The dwarf Fjalar, after killing Kvasir, is able to brew mead out of that. Odin steals it, eventually. The Jotun Hymir knows how to brew and has a huge kettle for that purpose. Utgarda Loki knows how to brew as well, and yeah. So, yeah, there's no specific god of brewing or of mead. Unlike here. His name here, it's missing the umlaut on the O to be properly Icelandic. Well, Björ. Actually, no. Scratch that. Björ is probably where this is coming from, not Björ. So, Björ does not have a umlaut. It's got an accent mark. That's a long vowel. A Bjor is, well, it's beer. So his name is literally Beowulf. Good name for a god. We'll have a little bit of a good time. And we start moving on. We can see some casks here. This visual design with the tattoos and the incredibly stripped eyebrows looks a lot more like the modern stereotype of what it means, or Viking aesthetics, rather than anything that actually has confirmed examples in the Viking world, while tattooing is while tattooing gets pretty is very likely to have happened. Well, the exact pattern we don't know, and so something like what's depicted there, we don't have any visual art to confirm being authentically or genuinely old. Anyway, we notice most of the Varl pacing while others sleep. Their brief conversations with each other and other clansmen grow shorter and sharper. "Go away!" roars one Varl at a young girl asking him too many questions. All the clansmen stop and stare. Break the tension by making a joke? I'm impressed you've kept it together this long. Send the Varl ahead in the caravan to put some space between you, or for what is wrong with you? Well, no one seems to be super happy about that. Anyway, we are now at Reynevik. Reynevik comes and goes as a long series of farmhouses, abandoned and crawling with dredge. The farmers have probably already fled to Borsgard. You try to hurry past, but are eventually spotted. Dredge start ambling in your direction. "What is that?" points out Oddleif up near one of the long houses. In the distance, a large person, clothes seemingly covered in blood, is cursing loudly and stumbling about. He staggers into a longhouse, laughing. The dredge heading in your direction turn back, roaring, and begin to pound on the longhouse door. They seem to be holding a grudge against this particular person. You doubt the door will hold long. "We'll help, we need the renown." And we have another Varl. We get Sigbjörn here, who, well, Gunnulf, Sigbjörn. It's very odd. They have two completely identical Varl, except one's a palette swap with a little bit of extra design. He's also incredibly strong. His stats aren't all that good, though his armor is way better than Gunnulf's is. But as far as he goes, he's a rank 5 dude, which gives me a lot of options here for how to turn him into something completely devastating. He's no Ivor though, so we'll actually put him on the very end. Yeah, I know Sigbjörn's required. I was moving him in his position. Yeesh. Anyway. So there's our team. I think we use Oddleif over Alette. Though Alette has a lot more strength. And the same exertion and roughly equivalent will. So both of them are good. But if we do use Alette, then We need to make sure we're putting the brake on her, so she can screw up. But he's got good brake, good brake. Eckert. Oh, actually. Oh no, not nearly strong enough for that. 2 will per kill. Even +1 strength resist. 15% crit. And yo. Okay. The question is using the one that gives him more move, or the one that makes him even stronger. I think we'll do the one that makes him even stronger, and we will go. Let's go. We've got another battle here. Lots of Arl on the field. Against quite a few Dredge. Let's see what our situation here is. Oof. Really confined start for a whole lot of pain out here. Okay. Ivor can just walk in. Oh boy. This is potentially quite rough depending on the order, but Krumer, if we need him to, can rearrange the initiative order. If we need him to. Who goes first? That guy. And then this guy out here, who we don't care about, and then this guy. Okay. Well, that's no big deal. That is no big deal at all. Hopefully he does not go for Oddlife. Awesome, he went for Krumer. And when he goes for Krumer, that means we can smush him quite hard. So these guys have a lot of a whole lot of morale, which is kind of scary. It's kind of really scary, actually. Well, that would completely break his armor, but nay. I think we do that. We do that, and that knocks him down far enough that we don't need to worry too much. And, well, sadly I don't think the break works here. We'll try. If it echoed, that would be awesome. Nah, of course not. Of course not. That's alright. Rook can immediately get this kill, take out our Dredge Slinger, and he's no threat at all. Oh. Sigbjörn cannot reach anyone, so he'll just walk over here and squish this guy very hard. 8-10. Arguably I should have left him alive, but I'm not going to feel bad about that at all. Not a whole lot of people left, but you still have a lot of renown, or a lot of morale, and things are about to explode, so let's make them not. Let's make them not. And here we go, just regular braking. Not a whole lot super interesting going on here. 7, 9. Oh boy, that's gonna hurt. That is going to hurt a lot. That's alright. Should be enough to kill one of these guys. Nope, not quite. Shame. Such a shame. We'll leave him out one so he can't do anything. But he's going after there, which makes him pretty useless, and we can just do that. Not such a hard fight in the end. Oh wait, doesn't matter. He only has 1 HP. Oh, got him. Got him. Apparently there are still people in this hall despite the town being abandoned though. Women with cups and men with horns in this mead hall. Mead hall is absolutely the correct term for this longhouse. The Old English word would be meadosetla. Oh no, that's the bench. The bench is the meadosetla, which shows up in Beowulf in the first parts here. So that kind of scene is perhaps sensible, but not contextually within the narrative. Yo! Mead bench is a great word. Beowulf, in the poem, when fighting with Grendel, ends up throwing the mead the mead benches are bolted to the floor. He ends up tearing them up and throwing them around the room in his fight with Grendel. Hrothgar's father, or no, not father, great-great-grandfather? Something like that. Shows chafing at the very beginning of the poem. In the first few lines, he overturns many mead benches in his conquering of places to make a kingdom on Sealand, which is where Heorot was supposed to be, in Denmark. Anyway, welcome to my mead house, Sigbjorn's House of Mead. I wasn't expecting a varl this far south, or this drunk. I can see that. There are people huddled in the corners of the mead hall, looking on with uneasiness. Who are all these? Who are you people? No, they're friends. They made this place. It's not really mine. You lured a dredge back to a room full of unarmed people. What is wrong with you? Come on, I saved everyone in here. They shared some fine drink, the best drink. Wait, I was saving your ass, remember that part? If you knew you'd come up here, you could have told me. What do we do with this guy? How much meat is left? Heck yes. More supplies. And more renown. Awesome. So we went from 4 renown to, what, 23? So yeah. And a lot more benefit to us. Anyway, with some help, you gather up the casks of mead and head back to the caravan, Sigbjorn and the other survivors in tow. By the way, his name literally means Victory Bear. Just so you know, his name is Victory Bear, and it is amazing. Sigbjorn and the other survivors in tow. The caravan gives the boisterous varl a large berth as you set out for Borsgard. So, let's take a look at that map. Map. Come on, load faster. Load faster, please. Just so we can see how close we are. We've made it finally all the way to Reinevik from Sigarholm, and we're trying to get down to Bowersgård, which is where, well, it's as far as we can get. The goal here is we'll get here, we'll get into the deep mud when the Ormsau river. That's a unnecessary word. Anyway, where the Ormsau River eventually opens into a deep lake, deep mud promised a thriving industry for Boresgård. That was before overfishing and polluting essentially ruined the lake, taking with it Boresgård's ambitions of becoming a capital of mankind in the east. Yikes. Anyway, Ormsau literally is Snake River. So it's the Snake River. Nice. So we're slowly making our way. We have 7 days worth of supplies, and well, hopefully that'll be enough. Oh, what did I do? Sigbjorn wakes in a pool of his own sick. Why am I surrounded by small people? The other clansmen let him sleep off his drunken stupor on the ground, and this morning he's paying the price. We'll post some guards just in case. Still. Ooh. Sigbjorn comes to you. I won't get into details, he says. I was supposed to bring those casks from Reinevik back to Boresgård. I drank maybe half. By accident. Point is, you don't tell anyone what happened, and I won't tell anyone about the mead you got, okay? Trust me on this one. You agree? And get back to travel. We needed those supplies. Even if they're all alcohol. Alcohol counts as days of supplies. But we're close to Boresgård, so... Anyway. As you're nodding off to sleep, shouts of fire pull you back to attention. Flames quickly consume a supply wagon and a few tents. A woman cries out, "My boy!" and points to a burning tent closest to the outlying Varl. Two of the giants are motionless, staring at the spreading fire with terror in their eyes. Varl are scared of fire, with some reason. Now, we are a good Saga hero in this playthrough. And Saga heroes are not afraid of fire. If you're Sigurður Falkenslanni, then you're absolutely not afraid of fire, down to the point of riding through a wall of it. That's not super smart, we don't recommend that. But, in a bunch of other sagas with fire, it's good to not be too afraid of it until things get very bad. In the more historical context, we have in the Sturlunga Saga compilation a 13th century text written by Snorri Sturluson's nephew about the events of the previous generation and of Sturla's own life. Anyway, that means in 1252 there was a wedding between Sturla's daughter and Gizur Thorvaldsson's son. Gizur Thorvaldsson was an ally of the King of Norway, and this was supposed to be a kind of political alliance in northern Iceland. The night after the wedding, Gizur Thorvaldsson's enemies set fire to the hall at Flugumýri, and the description of the battle is some of the best Icelandic prose there is. It's incredibly evocative, and it's one of the few places where Sturla kind of acknowledges his limitations, because he literally says in here, "Now many things happen at once, but I will have to describe each one individually." And doing that, he jumps between scenes of different people trying to fight the fire, or trying to escape from the flames, and well, It is incredibly evocative, and Gizur Thorvald's son survives that attack. Gizur Thorvald's son, the groom, does not. Sturtla's daughter survives as well, but Sturtla says of her at the end, she looked so worn out, but was still just a child. What in the depths was that about, you mutter to yourself. Something about the fire, Oddleif tells you. I've heard of this before. They don't like it. Doesn't change what happened, you think to yourself. We lost all of our supplies, basically. So we are in bad shape. We're going to lose some people on this, but we should be able to get some supplies before Beauregard. More supplies missing, the woman by a wagon says to you. And look, tracks. Right there. They look like children's footprints. But my husband and I followed them into the wilderness ways. They meet up with some adult tracks. No telling how many. We'll send some scouts this time. And we don't have time. And we just lost a bunch of people. We're at Beauregard. Things are very bad for us, because each time we have no supplies, morale gets way worse. So we have the worst morale right now. Finally, you arrive at Beauregard, where the walls stretch for miles in both directions and are littered with bodies of dredge, varl, and men. Excuse the mess, shouts a voice from above the gates. Looking up, you spy a striking varl, his face wreathed with matted black hair. Movement at the gate crashes your eye. Dredge are still banging on the gate doors without luck. Let us in, you shout. Let us in! Let me in! Sigbjorn pushes past. I won't be hearing the end of this for a while, he says, before yelling. Open up, Bulwark! They dug me out of Reinevik! You hear a laugh echoing on the wind as the doors creak. A dozen armed men, led by the massive Varl, make quick work of the dredge and usher you into the city. Sigbjorn, you may be interested to know they brought a mender. You didn't go to get a mender. Where's the mead? Sigbjorn shrugs apologetically. I guess the mender will do. Either we've got a chance now, or we're completely screwed. Amrok, we've come a long ways, some as far as Skoker. Are you in charge here? In charge of the governor, I suppose. Listen, if you have something to tell him, say it now. Otherwise, you're on your own. I don't care where you go, but stirring up trouble is probably the only reason you'll see me again. It won't be to talk. Mender, come along. We're going to see the governor. Bulwark and Sigbjorn leave with Eyvind, who goes willingly signaling that he's fine. Thane, this is just like Frostvettler all over again. This is nothing like Frostvettler. The one in Bearskin is probably leading the Ravens. Ravens? Is that good or bad? It depends on who they're working for. Hopefully it really is the governor, and not someone trying to strong-arm their way into his seat. I guess we wait for Eyvind to tell us, if he comes back. I'm not worried about Eyvind, I'm worried about the army of refugees we brought who don't belong here. You're probably right, nobody ever uttered a nice thing about Beauregard, so what now? We ought to get to the docks and see what our options are, in case we need to leave quickly. Did you notice the city guards when we came in? What guards? I have a feeling the Ravens are all they've got left. Something serious went down, and when Bellower gets here, he's going to walk right through this place without even breaking his stride. Let's keep that to ourselves for now. So, the docks? We have 0 days of supplies in this town. Here's the problem. We could spend half our renown to get 2 days worth of supplies. We need to do it, but it's not a good situation to be in. We can't buy any more. There's only 4 left to buy, So, hopefully, we get a way out of here very quickly. When you get to the docks, your heart sinks. Not a longship to be seen aside from wrecks. Bodies float in the water. Buildings are trashed and boarded up. What happened here? Murmurs Alette. They're all gone, says Avon, approaching the boat. I see you all had the same thought as me. Avon, you're okay. I'm fine. It wasn't a lie. The governor is here. He's in hiding. Why? Since the dredge started appearing, anyone with a ship and half of it left long ago. People can't leave by foot. Food is scarce. The markets are bare. Bellower's guard is a fire cake, waiting for someone to tip it over. So the governor's paying the ravens to protect him against his own people. And keep the peace, so to speak. It's more like there's a massacre anytime there's a hint of an uprising. Where does that leave us? I promised him the Mender's protection in our rank. I don't think he's very popular there. They're going to start tearing this place down to build new ships. We can ride the Ormsau River all the way to the capital, leaving another perfectly good city behind. How long will it take to build new ships? Hold on, what happens to the people living in Beauregard? It's the best I could do, Alette. I thought it could take as long as a month. We don't usually make ships out of scrap lumber. As soon as people figure out what's going on, there's going to be riots in the streets. A month? Why bother? Bellower will be here within the week, if not sooner. I'm open to suggestions. Gods be damned, is there no end to this? Ivor roars in frustration, leaving you standing by the docks. Alette gives you a worried look before chasing after him. Avon, what do we do about Bellower? Avon says nothing for a moment. I don't know. So, we have very poor morale. We have 2 days worth of food at least, but very bad morale. You find Ivor standing on the city walls overlooking the fields outside. Dredge are keeping their distance but continue to gather. I'm okay, Rook. But my throat is not. My god, doing voices is hard. Ivor cuts you off before you can say anything. You know he's been through worse. Just feels like someone should cut us a break every now and then. If we want to be standing a month from now, we're going to have to be prepared. What do you have in mind? First off, our clansmen need a place to stay. They'll get torn to pieces out in the streets. I'll keep an eye on the dredge up here. If they break through the walls, we're done for, so we'll have to keep them back. Could always use a hand with that. We'll need to know who's controlling what and make sure we get our cut. Food's going to become scarce. And when they start building the ships, we're going to have to keep people away. What a damn mess. I'll do what I can. So, this is Beauregard. This is the life we're in. Ivor explains. I'm leading attacks with Avon every time the dredge get too close to the gates. Listen, we're going to lose fighters and barrel every day like this. I don't need to tell you what happens if nobody is manning this wall. We could always use help. So, we have 1 day, any of these tasks for 1 day. We'll put Krumer in charge of the warriors this time, and then we will go in search of supplies. Okay, well, sadly we do not get to search for supplies this time. Krumer, you shout, calling around the war leader. This is your expertise, are you willing? Krumer is more than happy to switch off leading the charge, giving Ivor a break between fights. He spends the rest of the day showing you complex war strategies to reduce losses. Yo, we lose more people that way, and Ivor points out the dredge along the wall. There's a lot more of them, and they're getting braver. We lost a fair number of fighters since yesterday. We could use your help. There's nobody left to defend the walls. We need to get supplies. We're about to run out of food again. I checked around, Oleg tells you, and nobody has food, and they won't part with it for a fair price. And our medicine has been gone for days. They're either gouging the prices or it's just plain gone. She doesn't say it. You can tell this is going to be a serious problem. We're going to shake down some places. You join Odd Life to the biggest mead halls, determined to make some sort of deal. You can tell a few of them have food to spare, but the ample number of bodyguards hanging around make it clear that they don't want to share. You can tell Odd Life is about to snap. We're going to get in a fight here. Ah. Boo. Well, we are in very... We're in bad shape, because we have two critical things we need to do. And yeah, so the docks are trying to smash up the boats. There's a stone singer on the walls. The caravan still isn't in a safe place to stay. Our life's in trouble, and we need to investigate some riots. We're going to get in a fight this time for real, and we badly need this fight. So, our plan stays roughly the same. I don't think we've got enough to promote him. Nay, of course not. Of course not. We have not enough to promote anyone, really. Because Guts is just not worth the trouble of promoting him for. Ekek is just not that good. Oh, cool. Sigbjorn had the good graces to steal my rank 5 item. That's nice of him. That's very nice of him. But that's okay. Here we go. So, the Stone Singer is in the back here. And yeah, we'll keep losing people. This is quite bad. Actually, this is a very rough fight. This guy hits very hard. This guy hits quite hard. Or these guys have good armor and hit hard. So, yo. We will need to just out-damage. I think that's about as best as we can do. We bunch up in a corner opposite them and we'll hope that this guy doesn't get a chance to go before Ivor gets to inflict some serious pain. What I am worried about is Krumer is pretty useless here. Like, actually, Krumer is super useless in this position. What does he do? He has Forge Ahead. Okay, that's not super relevant. Sadly, I can't go back to change this up. Otherwise, I would have swapped in. I would have swapped in Avent, though I don't think I actually saw him in the list. So maybe that wasn't an option. Maybe that was... Whatever, we will burn lots of morale, since Ivor's the only one with good morale right now. Ooh, that's shiny. We could... But I don't want to do that. I don't want to put this guy in range, so I won't battering ram. If I did a rank 2 battering ram on this guy, he'd get knocked back. 1, 2, 3... Ah, he can't actually do that. So, it's better for me to just break his armor. What the heck are you doing? Which thing did you do? Hard to say if he did Rupture or Umbrage. Both of those take stats. So, well, I don't want to put him in range, so we'll actually just keep Krumer. And where can I position Krumer that he's going to be useful? I think actually he just rests this turn. Well then. How very helpful that was. So he's doing nothing. Then he goes... Okay, this guy goes very last. That means we have a decent chance of killing him before it actually matters. Because you do huge amounts of break. And that echoed. Nice. Nice. So we'll run up with a kick, and maybe we just do more break. I think at this point we focus on just... If we do more break with him... nah. We'll actually inflict pain for a change. Though... Okay, now we want to do break, because this does a chain of 4 breaks, which is just good news for us. Two, 3. As long as we do that much, then that echoes, echoes, echoes. And this guy does a really weird choice. No other way to phrase that. That was just a weird choice for him. But anyway, worked out well for us. So what did he do? That must have been Rupture that he tried to do. But he just whiffed it. He just badly whiffed his Rupture. Whatever. I will take that. We're going to burn a hell of a lot of oomph here to neuter this guy. And Krumer is also starting to be in good position. If I can put him here... Yeah, what do these guys have right now? They have Umbrage. Okay. It's armor minus 2, strength plus 3. Oh well. That splash damage continues. Ah, you did weird things. Okay. But dang it, and you're not close enough to stand what I wanted you to. Fine. What we will do is we will rain of arrows. I'm assuming that... Oh, this guy doesn't even go for a while yet. Never mind. Then we don't need to worry about that. We'll just bust that armor down, and that echoes more. Cool. He fucks up his own armor, which is good news for me. Wow. Actually, that's ridiculously good for me. Nay. Stop it. And is kill. Is kill. And this guy is now completely useless. I will actually hit him one more. So we hit him for almost death, and then we're going to leave him... Oh, right. You can do that. He's... Next turn he summons a new guy, which is just bad news. So... Don't know if anyone's able to do anything about him. Ow. I don't want to use... That's alright, we won't worry too much about it. This should be Rupture. This summons and he gets a new guy summoned, but it's also not really a big deal here. We'll break this armor as far as we can, because our life actually ends up being really, really good at that. So she can hit him for 10, and completely neuters this guy. And we have a new guy comes in the back, but we're not scared of him, really. At all. Ow. Actually, we should kill the guy close, because if this is what I think it is, this is a rupture. So we're going to kill the guy close to where the enemy, to where my units are, not the guy way off in the distance. Oh no, that was another strength increase. I see. What a waste of time, dude. Total waste. And he burns that, and it ends up hitting quite hard. No big deal. Hopefully, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, that's out of range. That's a shame. Then we will. We'll still hit him on armor instead of strength. Yo, because at least this still does something. Okay, if that does kill Ekek, he's dead. No big deal. Okay, this guy's just still out of range. He just has, like, no move. Good for me. Won't complain on that. But now we're in pillage, so now he's going to move. And we'll just set up just barely out of his range so we can just absolutely mark him next round. So even with Rook is bad, behind Rook is good. Okay. This is really just cleanup. I've never seen a Stone Singer just hide away that much. But I'm certainly not complaining about it. Oh, I could have done a lot more with that. That's alright. That is totally alright. He has 2 exertion, so actually doesn't matter. I shouldn't have bothered with that, but we will make this guy go ahead. Go next in the initiative, which is awesome for me. Because now we can attack him for a lot. There we go. We get our victory, and Ekek has been injured, and everyone else is fine. We get a little bit more renown. That's not all that meaningful for us, but we are in danger quite badly right now. Quite badly. Let's see, are any of these worthwhile? Plus 2 armor, knockback, plus 3 will per rest, plus 2 strength. Nay. None of those are worth the effort. This morning, says Ivor, I saw him. Bellower's here. I think it won't be long now. Avon leans silently on his staff nearby. One of your clansmen comes to you out of breath. Rook, he says, things are real bad. Look, there's nothing you can do at this point, but a lot of the caravan have been robbed, killed, or just disappeared. Those of us who are left are going to split up and hide where we can. Wanted you to know, in case we somehow pull through this. He runs off, clearly distressed. You grimace, wondering if this could have played out another way. We've got very little left. We could defend the walls again, back-to-back fights, or we could go investigate this note. I think we'll do that. So, we're doing a shady deal. So, yo. We have taken a deal to go get supposedly a drinking horn Uh, so we are kind of fulfilling the social role of an outlaw, where we are the non-locals. Norwegians also get qualified in this, actually, as the do things no one else wants to do. Outlaws and Norwegians in the Icelandic sagas. It's great. Now, you ally yourself with someone, and they provide for you. They'll take care of food, farming, etc., giving you work. In return, though, you may be asked to do some pretty shifty things. In Njál Saga, the first person to go try and attack Gunnar of Hlíðarendi, the hero of the first half of the saga, is a Norwegian who proceeds to immediately get a spear through his face for his trouble. He has a very good joke on his death, but he got sent up to go see if Gunnar was at home. Well, I don't know. I believe the joke is something like, "Well, I don't know if he's home, but his spear certainly is." And then he dies. So let's go over to the low town, and we get a aging meat hall. "Excuse me," murmurs Oddlife. "We came all the way from Skogar, and we're just wondering if you have a valuable drinking horn you didn't want anymore." You give her a grin. "You never know." And let's try the door. So much for that. Let's look for another entrance then. Just a telltale notch in the roof for smoke to escape. Oddlife sees you eyeing it. "I'll do it," she says, "if you give me a boost." So, she's gonna go in anyway. And she manages to slip herself through the tight hole in the roof and is gone. Several tense minutes later, there are sounds at the door, which slowly opens to Oddlife holding an ornate drinking horn. As the door shuts behind her, you spy several sleeping men inside. "No problem," she says. Looking at the horn, it strikes you as one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen, with gold inlays, intricate carving, and an unusual wooden base. Something primal makes you want to keep it. Oddlife notices, and she says, "I wouldn't stop you." So, chat, what do you guys think? Do we keep this very pretty horn that is definitely an artifact we can equip? Or do we keep our people from starving to death like they're about to? It's a toss-up. Both things are important. Option 1. Option 2. Zero. We have zero. Tomorrow we run out of food. So, I mean, it's really not a difficult thing. People might die of hunger if we don't give this back. People have already been dying of hunger, but you know. Oddlife nods, so you can tell it's half-hearted. Early the next day, morning, that's a typo right there. Early the next day morning, you return the horn to the man in the alley. You get a bunch of renown. And all that. Well, finally, we have a whole bunch of food, whole bunch of renown. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna just count down to here. I am stockpiling for the next time. Actually, we'll just buy 10 days worth of food here. Oh, we have a whole bunch of new things here. Less aggro, never deflected. Iron bands and the charm of the wandering mind. But yeah, we'll buy 10 days worth of food so we don't starve. And we've got plenty left available, so this is actually hugely important for us. Anyway. Ivor, can we really keep this up? Ivor looks like he hasn't slept for days. We've lost a lot of fighters, he mumbles. The weight of the situation is crushing. Then, far in the distance, you hear a horn. Dredge, don't use horns, it occurs to you. Avon appears at your side just as a long caravan of people come into view, Dredge turning to attack them. Who is that, you ask? It can't be, says Avon. He runs towards the gate, shouting, You see their banner, it's Haukon! As you wonder how they got there, the gates are heaved open and you charge into the field, clearing a path through Dredge. We are finally in a good position. Okay, we will drop Akek to get Avon in the group. Gunnulf is stay on the end here. We'll actually promote Gunnulf so we can get him his extra move. That would be hugely valuable for me right now. And, well, we'll increase his armor and we'll give him even. His whole shtick is that he hits extremely hard, so we'll keep enabling him to do that. And we will give him this. It's an improvement over this +1 strength resist. Definitely. Now, part of me thinks it's actually an okay idea to give this to Avon instead of giving it to Ivor, because +3 will on a Mender is potentially really powerful, but it depends on how long this battle's about to last. Well, this battle should be okay, because we also are going to get Haukon after this, which gives us a lot more units. We're going to have a lot better place to work at, and a lot more strength here. But, pretty strong cache of people here. No one too devastating, but, well, someone like Gunnulf, who has really low armor, is in trouble off of that. Here we go, should immediately be ready, and let's just not waste any time here. Who goes first? The dude way in the back, I like that. I like that a lot. If we hit that guy for 5 armor break, well, we don't really have anyone nearby to take him on, but that's okay, Oddlife can move around, hopefully. Who's up next? This guy, Oddlife, and then this guy. Okay, actually, we're gonna cheat the system very badly. We're gonna move all the way over here. And we're gonna go, you know who's a good person to go again? Ivor. Ivor needs to go multiple times. Boom. That shuts down that quite well. Okay, it's not possible to get in range of this guy, sadly. But where can we get to that's safe? I don't want to be putting her in range of people, if I can avoid that. Obviously. I think we will rain of arrows right in front of this guy, offering 2 extra strength damage times 1. Well, that still is only 3 damage to him if he lands. It would cancel his turn though, which is pretty good. So we'll do that. If this works, that'd be hilarious. It would be bad for Ivor, but it would be good for everything else. So we'll see if I can swing this. We can always heal Ivor up again, but if I Arc Lightning him, that only hits Ivor, but that hits 3 Dredge for, well, 2, 3, 4. I think we do that. So it hurts Ivor, it actually cripples him quite badly, but still puts him as stronger than basically everyone else, and he still does armor break. So, boom, boom, boom. I'll walk into that. No. Shame. Should have listened. Should have listened to me. Throwing lightning around is actually so much fun. Wow. He has a ridiculous amount of move now. Holy shit. And he hits so hard. Holy cow. Ooh. Ooh, this lets me do shenanigans. Watch this. This kind of goes through a lot of his willpower, but that's okay. Because we hit this guy for a lot. This guy moves. But now we can forge ahead on our guy with a ludicrous amount of strength. And he can do things again. Yep, he hits on armor. And we've got this actually is pretty huge. It's not quite the best situation, but it's actually close enough to it for me. We'll walk him all the way over there. Oh crap, he has no willpower left. That's not good. I had a cool idea, and then I botched it by burning all of his willpower too soon. Yo. So yeah, he's definitely gonna die now, and there's no way around that, because I screwed up. Crap. One, two, three, shame. Can't knock him back. Otherwise I would totally battering ram him. Oh, that worked though. Nice. Nice. Okay, so who's up next? This guy is going to attack onto Gunnel, but we'll do strength damage. Then comes this guy, who I'm not scared of. This guy, who I don't care about. Oh, wait. Nay. From just standing here, you can attack here for 4. We'll just do it for 4. Boop. And that causes a big chain reaction. The attack's Gunnel for not very much. Though it doesn't keep Gunnel alive any better. 1, 2, nay, that doesn't actually transfer. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I run up here with Avent, as risky as this feels, and I do Arc Lightning there, that only hits the slingers, but if I do that for just all of my oomph, that just kills one of these guys. So that's pretty good. 3, 5. And they both run away. Good, he's gonna go for support, but he dies, so that's not a big deal. The one that scares me is really just this guy. How much armor can I break in between these? Oh, actually, I can do a lot of good things here, maybe. Attack, 2, 3. I'm doing a decent job at knocking people down. Okay, they're both going for that, 2. Nay, it's better for me to get this kill, question mark? It's hard for me to tell what's the best play here, whether it's start getting kills, or if it's start trying and burn this guy down before he gets a turn. I don't know that it matters either way, actually. So we'll just smush this guy. I'd hope that this down aggro ends up being enough so that they'll go after him instead. Okay. Now, I can do something kinda cool. Boop boop. Tempest. Rank 3 hits everyone here. And it doesn't stop them, but it does cause a lot of shenanigans. Oof, and Rook dies, almost. Okay, that's fun. Almost. Definitely needed to stop this guy from surviving, so he dies. That echoes, he's at 1. He's at 1, so he's completely pointless, basically. I think I break all of his armor. Just as much as I can. Yeah, well, he's basically dead, so that's no big deal. No one's really low on oomph. And this guy needs to die right now. Crap. He does have enough strength. I like that. Got him. Okay. Now, we can do this, mark prey. Take advantage of his ridiculous oomph. Because strength goes down very quickly when you know what you're doing. Oh boy. Sadly, Good Elf goes down, and there's nothing I can do about that. Oh cool, this actually echoes and kills both of them. So this activates Pillage, which is a little bit risky, but also not really. Because that Sundering Impact Heavy Blow kills, and we Pillage. Avon gets hit for like 2, and then everyone else gets to do their thing. And yeah, we survive, no big deal. And thank you, Bumbleliz, for the follow, I appreciate that a whole lot. Thank you! And there's our kills. We survived this. Yo. And these horned stone men are gone, and we get more injuries, we get more renown, and we get a whole bunch of reinforcements, which we desperately needed. Avon, you know. I wasn't sure I'd ever see you again, Avon. She smiles and they embrace. Avon is completely taken aback, as though he doesn't dare believe she's real. I'm sorry, I couldn't make it to Sigarholm. I ran into problems. Problems is putting it lightly. There's a mile-wide canyon practically splitting the world in two over those hills. Couldn't find a place to cross. Worse, dredge are practically falling out of it like blood from a wound. They're not coming from the north anymore. They're everywhere. We noticed. Glad to see you made it out alive, Ingvar. I take it the others didn't. Hakan becomes quiet, then he motions towards Yuno. She got across somehow, found her out cold for a second time since leaving Strand. We need every axe we can get right now. Bellower is here. Gods be damned, I thought I was free of that menace. I will deal with Bellower. Come on, no need to tempt him by standing out here. So, staying in Sigarholm was luckily pointless, so we didn't. And now, we have Yuno, and we made it. Hakon's caravan enters the city, fighting off waves of dredge as they go. To your relief, hundreds of skilled warriors are now safely inside Bellower's guard. Plus 280 varl and 315 supplies. So we are now way better off. Hakon joins you with his personal bodyguard, Ard Moger. Behind him, the Prince Ludin and his entourage are in tow, though looking less than pleased to be here. I have one last trip to make. I need this one to come with me, she says, pointing to you. I'm sorry, Avent, you must wait for me one last time. Do not let the city fall before I return. It takes everything within Avent's power to hold back, but he does. She turns to you. Rook, come with me. We'll return in 2 days, maybe less, if you're as quick as you look. Tell anyone who needs to know. We will be stubborn. Yuna pauses and something shifts in your vision, for just a moment. I know it's hard, she says, her voice filling your head, and you've already been through a lot. As she speaks again, the rest of the world melts away. But you're needed. You can't find the words to argue. So he just cheats and uses magic. Absolute cheater. So Yuno is a Valka. Her design here with that spear is obviously very reminiscent of Odin with the spear Gungnir, and of stereotyped images of like Valkyrie and warrior women. With a staff, it would fall more in the Vulva category of like the CRS, but with a spear, it becomes a little less clear. Obviously, there is a lot of overlap between the two, but at least in popular conscience, I should say. In terms of actual Norse history, there's very little overlap between any sort of warrior woman and a CRS. The CRS in, say, Villisbow is possibly undead, possibly a Jotun, and seems generally very reluctant to be there. This is generally true of CRSs. The warrior women, or typicalized in the Valkyrie, are way more eager to be there, and in fact are the choosers of the slain. They go out to the battlefield and will pick who they wish to win. They're drawn from humans. Brynhildr is a princess as well as being a Valkyrie, and that's a trope in some of them. Helgi Hundingsbana, the two poems about him in the Poetic Edda, have a very similar event of a Valkyrie falling in love with a hero and causing a lot of grief because of it. Anyway, moving on. You don't remember leaving the city, but here you are, walking through unfamiliar ground behind you. You're alone, aside from hundreds of dredge who are all facing towards an enormous stone head. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up. So we have all these guys. These rows make it all look like they're wearing hats, which is kind of cute. Also kind of creepy, and the hat that shades your face. Arguably problematic in some ways there, but they're actually clearly meant to be horns, the dredge horns, so no more on that. The stone singers, in the meantime, are doing other things. Anyway, we are at the gravestone of Strafs. You glance nervously around, but the dredge didn't seem to hear. It's okay, you can speak. Softly. Is this where you're going to sacrifice me? Yuno smiles. What could have come across as profoundly creepy looks sincere instead. No, the dredge cannot see us. Be more precise, they can see us, but I've convinced them to be unconcerned. I can understand your apprehension, though. Who are you? I wish we'd had time for a proper introduction. My name is Yuno. I'm on the Mender Council. You met Avent, my apprentice. How are you doing these things? Controlling minds. I thought Menders build things and healed wounds. You are right, Menders do these things. Some of us still practice the teachings given to the Loom Mother's first creations. We are called Valka. I believe I am the only one who can influence another's mind. Oh, another stylistic thing that is drawing clear inspiration from Odinic imagery is the raven crest on her cloak. This is ravens are very stereotypically Odin's animal. Hugin and Munin, thought and memory, being represented by ravens. So, and this plus the spear makes Yuno appear very much an Odinic figure. Also, the hood is definitely not inaccurate to paintings of Odin and other sorts of visual iconography. In the 19th and 20th centuries, he's very frequently portrayed with a hood up. So all this combined, very much an Odinic Ovinic reference in a figure, which should, if you're smart, it makes you suspicious. Then why not take control of Bellower? He learned the talent to heal mines, not control them, though even some Valka have trouble believing this. Taking control of Bellower is the difference between convincing a child to sit still and telling a starving bear to stop being hungry. The truth is, we're rarely a match for the Sunder anymore. Our advantage is that we can train more Valka. There's also a weakness. The Valka pass on and lose their knowledge, while the Sunder simply grow older and more powerful. Bellower is both immortal and beyond my influence. To a point. Then how do we stop him? The God of Secrets will play a part, as will you. What are we doing here? Do you know of the god Strafs? Few know this stone exists, even amongst those who have lived their whole lives in Beauregard. While Dangler deals in fortune, Strafs taught men the value of trade in a different way, to show them it has consequence, two sides of the same coin. See the silver in the stone? The gales up here wear away the stone, but the metal remains. We need a piece of this silver. The god Strafs is wreathed by imagery of silver weapons. The myths say he traded these weapons to the gods, and they use them to kill each other. Those who seek out the stone call him the god of trade. The Menders call him the god of secrets. He was both. Why are we surrounded by dredge? They seem to be drawn to the godstone. There are many things we don't know about Strafs. Maybe they see him as a patron, or it is an attraction they cannot explain. Does Strafs have something to do with that serpent in Einartoft? What was that thing? I cannot say. Can't? I have my suspicions, but until I've had time at the Mender libraries, it would be unwise to speculate. For all our knowledge, it always seems as though we know little. Imagine how the rest of us feel. On the contrary, the less people know, the more certain they tend to be. Why did you pick me? Why didn't you take Avon or Halcon? You don't even know me. I apologize for putting you in danger. Avon must keep Beauregard from falling while we are away. And if something goes wrong here, I need to be certain one of us makes it back alive. I saw the thoughts of each person when I arrived at Beauregard. You are the only one I knew would return. What do you mean? You would find your way back to Olette no matter what. Let's go where we need to go. Indeed, you'll need to dislodge at least a fistful of the metal. We will forge it into an arrow to slay Bellower. Wait. After everything you've told me, make a magic arrow to shoot Bellower? That's all it takes? Why didn't you do that a long time ago? Yuno gets a faraway look in her eyes. No, that is not all it takes. What I tell you now must not be repeated. The arrow will not kill Bellower, even were it to strike his heart. He has no physical weaknesses. But it will sow doubt in his mind. When it pierces him, I will help him to believe that he is dying. The rest of you will convince him of it with sword and axe. Everyone who fights at your side must believe it to be true. You're going to trick him into thinking he's dead. That is the most insane. He really can't be killed? No. Someday he will awaken and will realize he's not dead. I imagine he will be quite upset. First we must make the arrow. Focus on the task at hand. She looks knowingly at the godstone, waiting for you to start climbing. Look, I am not certain how the dredge will react when you do this, and behind us is a sudden drop, so be careful. I actually haven't played Persona 5, so I don't know, but that seems pretty plausible. That, yeah, you're just tricking people into thinking they're dead? That seems right for that series. Approaching the back of the stone, you start to climb, looking for a loose piece of the silver vein. Even without looking onto the dredge, you can feel each sinister face watching you closely, held back only by Yuno's influence. Panic races through your blood. Try to quickly wrench out the nearest chunk. Climb higher to where it may be easier to remove, or go back until you know you can't do it. As you climb, you can't help but notice the stony masks of dredge lined up before the godstone, like worshippers before an idol. Just a glimpse nearly immobilizes you. Your hand rests on a piece of silver that comes away easily. The dredge do not react. I'm going to keep pushing my luck just to see what happens. While you're here, you glance quickly around to see if there's any more low-hanging fruit. You're able to pry away another, smaller piece of silver ore before your nerves give out. You nimbly descend to where you know is waiting. Well done, she says. As you walk back through the dredge, their heads turn in unison to follow. The dread that lingers and the shaking in your hands does not subside for hours. Gained item, Strav's whetstone. You approach the gates of Bowersgard again, relieved that they're still standing. It looks like they took a beating while you were gone. Aletto rushes to your side and throws her arms around you once you've crept through the gates. Yuno smiles at the reunion and tells you, take this time with your daughter. Find a smith who can fashion an arrow from that silver. I have other things to which I must attend, but meet me on the walls when you are done. Let's take a look at the market. We've got a lot of renown, and we have nothing worth doing there. So let's take a look at our heroes. Let's do our last round of promotions. We should have plenty of days of food, I think. Right? Let's actually check that, because that would be quite bad. 43 days of supplies. We'll buy a couple more, actually, since we've got... So we have an even 50 here. And let's do some let's upgrade some people, because look at our whole team here. We've got... Well, to remind everyone of where we're at, Irsa, rank 3 Siege Archer, who can kill armor break and can slag and burn places. She's really good. Like, really, really good. Really bad at breaking armor, but otherwise amazing unit. She claims to be a witch. Not many people know much about where Irsa came from, but ever since Ludin became old enough to train, Irsa has been close by. Rumors used to spread about a romantic relationship between the two until Irsa found out about them, and then suddenly they stopped. Those who have spent much time near her have described the woman as intimidating. We have Eirik here, the Warden of Strand. He can rally people, so can give people more willpower. And he can run through places. Eirik is the guy who gets stuff done for the Governor of Strand, though for a man with a heavy responsibility, he seems to have an awful lot of freedom in his methods. Plenty of warring clans within Strand have tried to take him down, none have succeeded. Eventually he earned himself the nickname the Iron Turtle. Mogar, rank 3 Shield Master. Mogar's an old hand in Varl culture, long on the front line of the fight against the Dredge. He's had the occasional brush with leading a clan of his own, but eventually settled well into commanding Vognir's personal army of Varl warriors, and is highly respected amongst them. So, he can bring the pain, runs up, hits people, and then if anyone attacks him, he ends up burning down their armor. Another one who's really good at breaking armor. He's absolutely one I want to promote. We've got Gris here, the strong arm. The model Varl warrior Gris doesn't have much distinction to his name and little influence on the politics of Varl, but he's a warrior through and through, having fought in every great war and killed countless dredge and men alike. Dependable when he's not shooting his mouth off. He's fine. Much like Ivar, he has battering ram, but like Mogar, he has returned the favor, so a little bit of a balance there, instead of the heavy strike. Percy, rank 2 Warhawk. He's got the same class as, like, Gunnulf, so got some of the same things there. Percy is one of Ludin's traveling companions. Percy is the most likely to stand out, being a literal giant amongst men. Even Ludin seems afraid of him, which may be the primary reason he hasn't been sent away. On the rare occasion it has been whispered that the Varl doesn't even work for the prince, but some other group altogether. What's well known is that he's already saved Ludin's life on more than one occasion. And we have Haukon, the current head of the Varl. Haukon is something of a legend in Varl culture. When he met Vognir, it was during the Second Great War, in which the two became known for cutting a swathe through dredge where others were struggling just to stay alive. Vognir was always the charismatic leader, but there was no question about which of the two would win in a fight. He has Sundering Impact, which is amazing, and he has Heavy Impact, so he just runs in and deals a lot of pain. Now we have Luden, who I really like despite objectively not being that good. Luden is the Prince of Men, the first heir of a vast kingdom. Though disliked by peers and rivals on account of his highborn attitude, few question his intelligence, combat skills, or courage. He's actually got a very peasant style here with this 2-color hood, otherwise brown tunic, but he's actually dressed and weaponed like a peasant. If it weren't for this ring on his middle finger there, it would be pretty hard to tell who he is. So we've got Rook and Alette and Neve and there's the whole team here. We've got some promotions to do. Haukon is absolutely getting a promotion. Let's see, Sundering Impact does +1 strength and +1 additional +1 strength, and adds the bonuses to Heavy Impact. So we will in fact up his strength by 1 and his other stats, his morale by 1. Who else needs promotion? Irsa can't. Oddleif could, but we won't. Eirik doesn't. We're not going to use him yet. Eyvind, not using Ekek. We could promote Mogar. That would be pretty good. I think we'll do that. And we'll just give him 18 armor. Literally, all we're trying to do here is up his armor as much as possible. And we'll promote Ivar with the rest of everything we've got. Because while we don't really do a lot with Battering Ram, at this rank is going to be really good. So that's everything on our promotions. We will just stack up his strength, to be honest. So, we also got the 5-ring necklace and Straf's whetstone. And this non-mace ring, +2 strength resist, +1 will per kill. Straf's whetstone is 20% chance to crit, which is double damage. And the 5-ring necklace has +1 aggro, +1 strength, armor, will, and break. So, this is actually, damn. I was about to say this is actually perfect for Mogart, but he's not actually strong enough to use that. So, kind of a nuisance there. But we will give Haukon that tool. The Singing Stone +2 will per kill would be pretty good. Let's see, what else can we do? +3 strength, +2 strength resist. I think we will give... Ooh. How to do this? So many options. We'll give Ivar the one that increases aggro, though that is a bit risky. Puzzle Box of the Twin Rivers could be good. Could also be a good choice on Luden, I think. Yeah, maybe it's just a really good choice on Luden, because that extra, even just 1 extra range does a lot of good. I think Ursa can take the one that Eyvind had, and we'll just need to be careful with Eyvind. We'll give, actually, Dunder's Hand to Eyvind, so that he's not a great fit for it, but it'll keep him alive longer. Because Eyvind's stats just aren't very good, but that maximized morale is a lot of benefit. Anyway, we just spent 53 morale, or renown. So that went to the rest of our currency, but we finally find someone willing to craft an arrow for you. He eyes you suspiciously when you show him the silver, but shakes his head and gets started. Aletta watches the smith's fire reflecting in her distant stare. I talked with Eyvind a long time while you were gone. He told me a lot about you now. Is she really as powerful as he said? It certainly seems that way. That might be the most luck we've had so far. Dad, I think I know what's going to happen now. An arrow? She's going to make you shoot Bellower, isn't she? I don't know for sure. Come on, who else is going to do it? Ivor? Valette, I know where this is going. You're afraid of me dying. This isn't like before. We can't run this time. That's not what I... Let me do it. What? Why not? Because you think I'll get hurt? What do you do when Bellower comes straight for the person holding the only thing that can destroy him? Let me speak. Everything's changed. Skoger feels so long ago. I'm not asking because I'm afraid of losing you. I'm not afraid of anything anymore. Let me do it because you know I am a better shot. I have a better chance of puncturing his armor. We only have one shot. I'm not a child anymore. I'm not just some girl. I'm your daughter. I can do this. For once, let me decide what happens to me. Okay. So, my last playthrough, I chose to trust Aletta and let her do it. I don't want her on my team in this situation, so I'm actually going to say no. This time I'm going to say no. This does affect the rest of the trilogy, so this is partly to see what changes, if anything. I assume a lot's going to change, actually, because I've not played Aletta's version of Banner Saga 2 yet. So, I'm going to choose no here, and this will change a lot. She stares into the firelight. You wait for the tears to come into her eyes, but they never do. Just promise. Promise we'll be together. You sit by her side silently until the smith finishes his work. Now, it doesn't require it, but you can import it. This does you can keep importing your save data. If you don't have Banner Saga 2 or Banner Saga 1, but you do have 2, it just lets you pick who you want to play the story as. There he is. Yuno is in the middle of an animated debate as you approach, the arrow in your hand. There is little time left. Bellower knows we're here. Whether he is waiting for more of his forces to arrive or simply wants to starve us out first, I cannot tell. But he will not expect a direct attack. Is this a joke? How are we going to do that? I will take a handful of warriors to face him. I can keep a small group hidden from sight. The rest of you will lead the charge from here. With luck, Bellower will send his armies away from himself to meet you. What about the ravens? They may protest. They will not. I've arranged a task for them. Even if you make it to Bellower, what chance is there of defeating him? We saw what happened at Einartoft. That thing can't be killed. Yuno shows them the arrow you had forged from the Godstone's silver. This will make him bleed like the rest of us. Once he is pierced, he will be vulnerable. She looks you in the eyes. We only have one. Do not miss. And bring only those you absolutely need. It will take all my concentration to keep the other dredge from swallowing us up. I cannot join in battle. And if we kill Bellower, then what? The dredge will just wander away? That is my belief, yes. I can't say for certain. This is a doomed plan. Help us hold out here until the ships are finished. And then what? Bellower will hound our every step, all the way to Arbering, where I am certain more sunder await. Now is the time to speak to your loved ones and the memory of any god that pleases you. Rest. In the morning we slay asunder. Unfortunately, I have no way to improve our morale. I have no renown left. 46 days worth of supplies. Pretty good. Shall we? Bellower. The silence is what you remember. You rise in silence and walk through empty streets. Upon the wall, two armies stand quietly watching each other. Your footsteps echo on the wooden floorboards as you approach Yuno. She breaks the silence. It's time, Yuno says. Gather your allies. Today one thing will end another will begin, and our actions will decide on which side we stand. Let us go and get great renown. A let is required. God dang it. That makes things difficult. Ivor is a must. Haukon is basically a must. I think we'll bring in Moger. I want to bring in Krumer, but that seems to not be a choice, so we'll do that. Alette is going to take the thing, the hook here, and +2 will per kill. I think Rook takes Alette's bracelet, which would be bad to not have, but could do worse. This is one of the reasons I have not leveled up Rook very much at all. But anyway, Moger has nothing on him right now. We should fix that. Should very much fix that. +1 strength resist, +2 will per kill. I think we give him the strength resist, though it doesn't particularly matter. It's the best thing we have for him. Oh, I want Luden in this fight, but with Alette, I'm not able to. Alright then. We are going to not use this one here. We are going to then give Ivor back his thing, because he needs that extra will quite badly. Okay, well, this is what we're doing. Alette should go there, then Haukon. Haukon's my big, brawler. Rook, and then Avent. So, hopefully, we are able to do this okay. This is a hard battle. So, here's what we've got. We've got one of these guys, the Fire Slinger with those Shatter Stones, a Blind Slinger, who, prevents them from using Exertion, so none of your morale there. And there's that, and there's that. So one guy who hits really hard, and then there's Bellower. Bellower has 4 armor break, 2 exertion, 4 morale. So he just hits like an absolute truck. And there is nothing we can do about that. Stop it, I don't need that. I guess we're ready. We'll put Moger in front here, and we will bring the pain. Oh, okay. We can't do that, so we will just end our turn waiting here. Oh gosh. Cool. This is about as good of a situation as we can get, I guess? It's not a good situation, to be clear, but it's about as best as we could possibly get. Oh, I screwed up there. Nay. I want to move. It's tempting to almost super battering ram him, but I think that's stupid. So we will just do this, and we're going to really kind of rely on Rooks. Ow. We only need to take out Bellower. Thank you. We're mostly going to rely on just, like, Rook and his various amounts of armor break. Because basically he's going to mark prey on... Cool, he did this very stupid thing there. But this is going to be good. We can mark prey... Nay, I wanted to do that for 2. Cool. So Bellower is a lot weaker now. And we will keep Avon there and heal up Haukon or Ivar as far as we can, because he needs that. I guess we'll work on this. And pray that no one goes down. Oh, that worked surprisingly well. Anyway. We hit Bellower for literally everything. We can't use the arrow until there is no chance of missing. Thank you. We can break the rest of his armor now, though. Cool, he's at 0 armor. And we go for... We'll hit him for 6. That's about as good as I can get. Hopefully that's good enough. Like... Yeah, that's good enough. That's a kill. What? Silver arrow? Fine, we will back up and then we will use the silver arrow. Only possible when chance to hit is 100%. It's also exactly a kill. Ta-da! We did it! We used the silver arrow. But... yeah, that's what changes. Bellower has now killed Rook. No, Dad, please help him. Haste, child, finish Bellower now. So, everyone's healed up. Everyone's as good as they're going to be. We've got 1 guy, 2 guys, 3 guys, and Bellower. Bellower's weaker now, but still very scary. Bellower retaliates immediately when struck. So Bellower is going to keep being absolutely terrifying. We will mostly huddle in a corner, to be honest. That's most of the plan. Actually, let's put Mogre there. That works okay, and Halcon can go up 1. We're ready! My terrible willpower causes a lot of problems, but that's okay. Ow. What a jerk. Just immediately putting me on the very poor footing. I think we're actually going to rest. Okay, skip his turn. And that brings the pain. And he will just whack me every time he gets a chance to. So the goal is theoretically to not let him do that. We'll see how well that goes. Awesome, cool. You did not get a chance to do the thing. And we will heal up Mogre, because there's not a whole lot of point to use Ave and other abilities. The Stone Singer is doing things. Okay, he starts walking forward, no huge deal. Okay, this is a really scary situation to be in, even though most of the team's actually okay. Just because we don't have a lot of resources to take on. We don't have a whole lot that lets us take on what we're facing here. And one of the tools we did have just got very badly injured. Okay. Okay. Okay, that just upped everyone's... No, that did nothing. Why did you... What did you do? Who can I heal up to help? I guess we'll heal up Ivor? I think he's the best choice, but like... God, this is a terrifying situation to be in. And we got more Shandersons coming in. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm almost tempted to just eat a hit from Bellower, as painful as that is about to be, because I can hit him for a 6 armor break. Thanks to this little... Ooh. Ooh. Yes. He has no one to lash out at, but he just does that. Okay. Meanie. Ow. Ow. Okay, this is such a tense situation. I'm sorry I don't really have a whole lot interesting to say, because it's just scary. Fuck. Yay, I'm now on a time limit too, where this is even going to be possible. Okay then, how to do this? How to do this at all? I guess I can keep just healing up the armor as far as we can. But gods, this is a scary, scary situation. Luckily, if Bellower just walks, we're fine. And we'll hit him fairly hard on this guy. And that's a kill there. Easily. Oh gosh, now more people are going to be injured. Yep, everyone is injured. Cool. So Haukon's gonna go down. What we should be able to do quite successfully is use Mogre to start taking on... Oh god, he's healing armor. What a terrible situation to be in. Okay. I'm not really sure how to do this. I'm not even sure if I'm going to succeed at this, to be honest. It's entirely possible that I'll just fail, because he hits so hard. Because he just hits too hard. If I can thread the needle on him, that would probably be the best option. Okay, we're going to move away from the things that are about to explode. And we can, I No, I don't want to battering ram him. I just want to hit him as hard as I can, even though that means Ivor goes down. Yep. And now we can do a thread the needle. Not far enough. Damn. Okay. Now we just need to attack the Stone Singer here. And Haukon is gonna break and go down. Which is gonna be okay. This is gonna be extremely close. Oh, Haukon just died. That's cool. Yeah, I do not win this. There is no physical way that I win this successfully. I don't know, 5 damage. I should need to break his armor once more. Need to break his armor more. Come on. It's so close. It's so close. But yeah, I do not win this. This is just how it is sometimes. Ta-da! Game over. It literally just game's over. The last thing you see is Bellower standing above you, and you know this is the end. Everything you've worked so hard for, gone in an instant. We'll return to the last checkpoint, because we just game overed against Bellower. Which really stinks, because it means we have to do that whole fight again. Really, half of the problem is this poor morale. If only we had a chance to rest beforehand, to make sure we were well equipped, we'd be a lot better off. So, how can we do this differently? I think the team is right. Mogar, and Ivor, and Haukon. And maybe actually Avon's not right. Who would be better than Avon here, though? That's kind of the question. Like, I'd like Krumerin, I'd like Ludinen. But the problem of putting Ludinen is his stats just aren't... He has 2 range, which is awesome. Which means he can stand next to our guys here and just help them. And he has pretty good exertion, and he has pretty good will. So he might be an okay choice, but Avon, if I can get into a situation, is guaranteed strength damage, which is actually huge. So we'll instead put that there. We'll put the break on you. And Avon has this thing. Maybe a crit chance is better on him. Because, what, 20% crit chance? If we do that, this might be interesting. He may have a chance to crit on his abilities too, which would double the damage. So, potentially hitting Bellower for like 12. Would be a pretty good trade. The big thing that I need to change this time, I think, is I need to keep Haukon alive better. As I need to do a little bit better job on just protecting them, making sure they don't stand right in front of Bellower. Although in this case that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to stand directly in front of him, so he uses all of his oomph to do that. And go from there, I guess. Sadly, I can't bring the pain, so we'll just wait, and Bellower will walk all the way forward. Which hurts, but is also not really the end of the world. Okay, this time if I do this, that gives space. That gives space for Halcon. And space for Halcon is good. Space for Halcon. Sundering Impact would 100% to hit, strength damage +1. 1 break to target, 1 strength, 1 break added to heavy impact. Okay, that doesn't super matter. Strength damage +1 still is not that much, it's only 4. So, which is what that does for the same price. But no, we will instead do armor break. And the rookie will run up here, and he will go abilities, mark prey for 2. Puts it at 8 and should be like all of his own. Yeah. And for some reason, he just basically suicides. Now we just need to survive until Rook's next turn. Which is a definite maybe on. Oh gosh, I put Avon in an awful spot. Hello. Mend, please? Yes. Thank you. Ah, yay. So... no armor there. The issue is largely that Rook is... kinda needs to just... endure. If we do Battering Ram here, that... does a whole lot. Boom. Oh, that doesn't spread. Okay. Sundering Impact, whatever. Rook is not dead, so he backs off 1, and he gets to use the Silver Arrow. Okay, so here we go, we're in the same situation again. Everyone gets hurt, and a smushes Rook. Yeah, just that awful squishing sound means that we are in the hard part of the fight now. We still only need to kill Bellower, so if we can bait him into a position that if this isn't catastrophic... Oh. I think that's our play. We just need to stay away from the Stone Singer. But Bellower goes first, we'll actually try and bait him again. Because baiting him again would be really big. Because if he... if he walks forward instead of screaming... there's a whole lot we could do. Sadly, he chose to scream. So we'll just wait. That did like nothing. Like that was totally useless. And 4. So we'll break some of his armor. And the hope is that next turn we can make Bellower come in and actually join us a bit. Abilities mend a bit. I don't know what he's doing, but now we need to figure out how close Bellower can actually get. 1 space closer. Okay. Then we will actually bait him in with a Bring the Pain here, so that when he attacks Mogre, he actually screws up himself quite badly. See? Worked. Beautifully. 12, 16. I still need to do as much armor break to this guy as fast as I can. So, Ivor is really the only one ready to... Ooh, that's 5 armor break. Nay, that puts a lead out of range. Don't want to do that. A lead is kind of, like, the one who figures this out for me. So, I've got to be careful. Attack for 5. The reason why I say Alette is the one that figures this out for me is that if... because Alette has this damage like that, she's able to actually do a whole lot onto some of these guys. Now, Avent is just going to try and heal up Ivor, back up to his 14 so he stays alive, and knocks him back down to 11. Amazing. I have no morale left. I just have to get to Alette's next turn, basically. As long as Ivor gets to go, this is fine. Because Ivor goes down here, not a big deal. Falcon takes his spot, and Sundering Impact for all of it. Now Bellower is not that scary. Ta-da! This time it was not that hard. I don't know why the first time was so difficult, but this time we did fine. That seems to be a habit of mine, though. I swear, every time I play this game, the first time against Bellower I lose, and then I remember how to actually fight Dredge. I.e., stay away from the Stonesingers. They're bad news. And we just, quote-unquote, killed Bellower. Bellower's armor design there, that big red plate with that huge tower shield, makes sense for the Dredge, because the Dredge are made of stone, and so they're pretty brittle. Having a big shield would help with that. But in general, it is one of the hilarious things of medieval fantasy, of that the stereotype is you have big armor and a bigger shield. If you have big armor, a big shield benefits you not at all, because the whole point of having real armor is that you get protected. If you have no armor, then you want a tower shield. Which is actually what we see in duels. In German duel context, there's one duel type that is tower shield and sword with no armor, because the shield is supposed to do all that work. Anyway, let's finish up this game. Damn it, Rook, not you too. Dad, get up, help me. Where are the menders? Hush, child, look at me. It's been too long. Put up your hood. You are alive, and we must go. You're only barely aware of the surrounding chaos as Dredge flee from Varl warriors who push their advantage. Alette, become someone else today. There is time to be Alette another day. I will carry your father back to the city. He will be honored properly. I promise you that. Come now. Yuno was right. With Bellower fallen, the Dredge flee the field of battle. You return to Beauregard, but have almost no memory of doing so, aside from the image of your father's still body being carried in Ivor's arms. Morale improved a bit. Rook died, our morale got better. Wait. So we should have the time we need to finish the ships. I think you're right. The Dredge don't seem interested in us anymore. Since Bellower fell, they've been going their own way. The Ravens have been keeping the docks clear. Yuno's talking to them about something now. When those longships are ready, we'll be able to sail all the way to Ardberg. With luck, before the darkness shows up there. How far south has it spread? I couldn't say. Hopefully not far. We'll get the prince back to his home, And Helkan has already decided to come with us. There's not much else to go back to. The two look up as you approach. Aletta, it's nearly time. Soon we'll be ready to leave Bowersgard, find somewhere safe. One ship is done already, at the docks. I had it prepared for Brooke. I don't think I can do this. Come, Olette. It's time to honor your father. This song is actually in Icelandic, and it translates roughly to "We are all guests upon the land." We're all guests in one place. And I don't remember the rest. I'm struck though, Rook looks an awful lot like one of my professors. It's actually kind of spooky now that I saw him, and actually one of the great scholars of folkloristics in the present day. But he looks an awful lot like one of my professors. And that is the end of the Banner Saga. I'm obviously going to let this play because this is absolutely beautiful. Our very stereotypical Viking Age funeral, being put out on the river in a burning barge, and traveling from there into the darkness, and traveling to the home of the gods. This was not needed for a burial to end up in Valhalla or Folkvanger, but ship burials of some kind, either cremation or an actual full burial, symbolically doing the same thing, are very, very common. We're discovering new ones all the time thanks to ground-penetrating radar. I think 2 got discovered last year. And, well, finally night fell. The sun had stopped for the entire journey, and so finally we are in the night of some kind, and that is the end of this game. Just huge shoutouts to the Stoic developers and to Austin Wintory for how insane this music is. And they had all Icelandic voice actors. It's amazing. So, to kind of sum up, this game is incredibly beautiful and really understands the aesthetic of what people kind of think of for a Viking game. However, it marketed itself as a playable Viking saga, and I think off of this one playthrough, it's impossible to say for sure, but it definitely does engage with a lot of issues in the sagas, and sometimes gives you a very saga-like way of responding. Specifically, issues of some women's roles we saw earlier on got seen, and questions of conflict and the struggles of trying to survive in a world that doesn't like you. But there are some important stylistic and narrative differences from any saga. The sagas are all very laconic, very kind of impersonal. This game tries to do the exact opposite. It really tries to put you into this perspective of your narrator, no matter who changes. Despite the same fatalistic attitude present among the Varl, that is not the actual narrative style, doesn't quite line up. The game also modernizes a lot of the problematic aspects of the sagas regarding the misogyny, the kind of issues, and some of the issues there. Sorry, there was a thought that got derailed. So, some of the misogyny, some of the lack of agency, and some of the more active feuds get skimmed over or ignored completely in favor of telling a much more modern story. This is not at all a bad thing. It's just definitely an interesting thing. The real test becomes what happens with the other choices the game allows. With all the moving to different places, running into different people, there's not a lot of time to establish characters or to describe characters, but it'll be curious to see how what other choices in the narratives would allow. And see if there's options that give you a more traditionally Saga-like response. Still, this game is amazing and I love it, and I mean the music gets the aesthetic right, the design largely gets the aesthetic right, though it does engage in some fantasy changes or adaptations from elsewhere in the Middle Ages, and is generally just really, really good and pretty. And that concludes my thoughts on the Banner Saga. So, we'll let this finish, but Wednesday it's going to be a similar story. We're going to start later than normal, so again probably around 7. I'll try for it, may be 7:30. We'll see. We're going to be playing Fire Emblem 8, the game I started last week. We're going to try and do the entire rest of it. We got through about a third of the game last week. We're going to try and do 2/3 this week. So we'll finish up both of our strategy games. And we'll change then on Saturday. I think we're going to have we're going to do the Battle of Hastings. My commitment on Saturday got cancelled, so we'll actually do probably the Battle of Hastings, and if there is one more from elsewhere in the Middle Ages that we can do, we'll do that too. I will take a look at the historical battles in Age of Empires, and that may be a longer stream. So yeah, that kind of sums up the scheduling for the rest of us. If you guys liked it, please do consider supporting the channel both by following, subscriptions here and on YouTube. Do me a lot of good. So if you like that, please do consider that. Scroll through these to get to the end here, through all these Kickstarter backers, because this game had so many supporters and it's so nice to see. But I do want to also say we will be back soon continuing this story. Banner Saga 2 imports the save data from Banner Saga 1, and so we'll be continuing with the choices we made here. We're going to definitely go through Banner Saga 2 and Banner Saga 3 as whenever we can. Probably won't do it next week because things are about to get really chaotic, but in the next couple weeks I'm going to try and get back on that and see if we can't see both changes and improvements made with the extra time to develop things between the other games. So yeah, I will see you all on Wednesday then. Bye bye.